Assalamualaikum or hello everyone and welcome back to my channel or welcome to my channel or welcome to my page. My name is Shuraim Sipar and today we're going to be doing yet another project, and the title of this second project is Allah's Tools for Personality Development and Defense Against Iblis. I know it's a long title, I know. Now in this project I'll be mentioning and talking about 5 different times that Allah has informed us or warned us or told us about Iblis, and the times Allah has told us on how to drive away Iblis, how to defend ourselves against Iblis. It's mentioned a lot in the Quran. I mean, Iblis is a mortal enemy of mankind itself, is the mortal enemy of all of existence. Literally, he dared to oppose Allah himself. Wow, you gotta have guts for that. So we obviously need to know how to defend ourselves from Iblis. In this video, I'll be telling you different times, 2 different times out of these 5 times Allah has mentioned or talked about Iblis. So without further ado or much more talking, let's just get started. Also, before I start completely talk about the 5 times Allah has mentioned Iblis in the Quran, even though he's mentioned a lot more than that, believe me, there's just 5 times I picked out. Every single reference that I use, just like the last video, will only be for the Quran unless mentioned otherwise. Okay, now without further ado, let's really get started. So the first part of these 5 parts which I'm going to be mentioning in the video, the first part is literally the surah dedicated to Iblis himself, Surah Nas. In this section, I guess, is info about Iblis, because before you fight the enemy, you have to learn about the enemy. I'm pretty sure that's how that saying goes. It's something along those lines. So of course we have to know about Iblis before we fight him. So first of all, we have Surah Nas. It's all of Surah Nas, specifically ayat number, I'm pretty sure 4 or 5 in that ayat. After 4, after 4, it's all about Iblis from there on. Now we all know Surah Nas, but I'm still going to recite it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm going to start from ayat number 4. Min sharril waswasil khannas allazi waswisu fi sudurin nas minal jinnati wan nas. From the evil of the lurking whisperer, from the evil of the sneaky whisperer or lurking whisperer, who whispers into the hearts of mankind. Now, before I continue to say, continuing on to say what about the translation of the next ayat, I have to say that whispering into the hearts is a very often mistaken thing, because hearts in Arabic is qulub, but in this it's allazi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas. Sudur means chest, was whispering into the chests of mankind, which makes a lot more sense, because the chest is an open area where Iblis can whisper it in. The heart is where the soul lies, where the choices are made. So it's our choice. Are you going to let Iblis's whispers come into your heart, or are you not going to let them in? Your heart is a closed space, the chest is the public area. So who whispers into the hearts of mankind is a mistake. If it was hearts, it would be allazi yuwaswisu fi qulubin nas, but it's sudurin nas. So that's just a fact which a lot of people get wrong by accident. Okay, next ayat, who whispers into the chests of mankind, from among jinn and humankind. So there's people that Iblis human people that Iblis uses to get to you. Among obviously jinn, but humankind too. Humankind can also be used by Iblis. Okay, so remember when I was saying that this is about info about Iblis? Well, this tells us a few personality traits of Iblis. First of all, from ayat number 4, it's from the evil of the sneaky whisperer. For context, the reader is asking Allah for protection from the evil of the sneaky whisperer. Now, what we learned here is Iblis is number 1, evil. Everyone knows Iblis is evil. Everyone knows Iblis is evil. But we learned that it's confirmed, as if it wasn't confirmed already. But it's good. It's good reassurance. Okay, second, he's sneaky. Iblis is sneaky. He's very sneaky. He lurks around. You don't know when Iblis is coming. You could be right behind you for all you know. Nobody knows. Iblis is very sneaky. I'm pretty sure we could have guessed that, but now we've confirmed that he's sneaky. And third, he's a whisperer. He whispers into the chests of people. Which is fourth, he whispers into the chests of people, which teaches us that he has limited control over us. Iblis has limited control over you. He can't force you to do things. When you do something bad, it's usually by your choice. Because Iblis whispered it to you. It was your choice. Are you going to open your heart to that whisper? Or are you going to reject him? You're going to tell, I don't want to buy any of your cookies. Get out of here. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to let him in? It's your choice. Which that's what it teaches, the 4 things. And I guess the fifth one is that among jinn and among humankind, that doesn't really teach us that much. I guess it does. It teaches us that even though he doesn't have full control over us individually, he still is very powerful. You should never underestimate Iblis. Even if you have the strongest iman ever, even if you're on the top of your religion faith right now, Iblis, you should never underestimate him. Even if it's obvious, this is not gonna affect me in any way, I can beat Iblis. Never underestimate Iblis. Even if it's obvious that you're going to win, never underestimate him. It's better safe than sorry. Because he can use jinn. Obviously, he uses jinn to whisper into you or misguide you, but he can also use humankind. He can use mankind. He can use your fellow people. He can use legitimately anybody, anyone he can use, because Iblis is powerful. You gotta accept that. Even though he's not even nothing. I can't even compare him to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This guy is very weak, but you gotta admit, he's powerful. You can't underestimate him. After all, we're just humans. So this teaches us 5 aspects of Iblis, which is a lot. And these are big aspects too. Also, there's one thing, it's not in the surah, but I'm pretty sure in the grammar, is that Iblis retreats apparently. He comes, he goes, he comes, he goes. He's a coward. He is a coward. This man is a coward. So I guess hidden sixth aspect, he is a coward. Iblis is a coward. He comes here, he pulls your ponytail and then he runs away. He is a coward. Then he comes back again. This man does not quit. He keeps coming back. It doesn't matter how many times he gets beat. That's the one thing respectable about Iblis. The man's a hard worker. We all know at the end he's done. He's not coming. He's not winning. But still, you gotta admire okay, don't admire him, but this guy works 24/7, 365. Does not take breaks. Comes, he goes. He comes, he goes. To be learned 5 normal aspects that you can think of yourself, and then one hidden. So in total 6 aspects we learned in Surah Al-Nas. Now let's move on to the next section. You know the Sun Tzu quote, to defeat the enemy, you must become the enemy. Now, I don't recommend becoming the enemy, but you know what I do recommend? Learning about the enemy. To defeat the enemy, you must know about the enemy and not just their battle technically for Iblis, you kind of just have to know his battle tactics, because he doesn't really have that much else going for him except the fact that Allah was merciful enough to give him the right to even exist. That just goes to show how merciful Allah is. Okay, so now the part 2 and 3 of our 5 parts is going to be backstory, because like I said, you must know about your enemy to defeat your enemy. So this is all backstory about Iblis and kind of like threats that Iblis gave to us as well, which includes Surah Al-Araf, which is the seventh surah of the Quran, and Surah Al-Kahf, which is obviously the 15th surah of the Quran, the longest surah. So we're gonna start with Surah Al-Araf, which is Iblis's threats and backstory. Threats towards humanity and Iblis's backstory in general, and Surah Al-Kahf is just Iblis's backstory. Alright, before I start Surah Al-Araf, I just need to tell you to grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, grab your peanuts, and grab your carrots if you're on a diet, because wow, this is a wild ride. Wow. I'm going to start from ayat number 11. This surah has so many ayats, so I'm going to start from ayat number 11. So buckle up. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد خلقناكم ثم صورناكم ثم قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس لم يكن من الساجدين. Surely we created you, then shaped you, then said to the angels, prostrate before Adam. So they all did, but not Iblis, who refused to prostrate with the others. Okay, so in the 12th ayat, that's how sentient Bismillahir Qala mana'aka Allah tasjuda is amartu qala anna khairum min huka lakata nimin nariyu wa khalakata humiutin. Allah asked, what prevented you from prostrating when I commanded you? What happened? What prevented you from doing sajda when I commanded you to? Iblis, he replied, I am better than he is. You created me from fire and him from clay. So Iblis thought that he was better than Adam Islam, because Adam Islam was made of clay and Iblis was made out of fire, which is just not true. I'm pretty sure clay can put out fire. So that was stupidity right there. So in the 13th ayat is Qala fahbitu minha fa ma yakunu laka an tatakabbara fiha fakhrujin naka min nasagirin. Allah said that get down from paradise. It is not for you to be arrogant here. So get down. You are truly one of the disgraced. If Iblis is banished from Jannah now, he's saying get down from paradise. You're banished here. Get down. Also, another aspect of Iblis is the disgraced. I mean, everyone knows Iblis is disgraced, but it's an aspect now that's confirmed as well. Okay, so next, which is the 14th, is Qala anzirni ila yawmi yub'azun. He appealed that delay my end until the day of their resurrection, of our resurrection. Iblis said, then delay my ending, delay my demise until the day of judgment, until the day we are resurrected, which is the time when Iblis runs out of time, and now the day of judgment happens. Let's see who won. We all know Allah's going to win. Okay, so next is 15th is Qala innaka minal munzarin. Allah said, you are delayed until the appointed day, until the day of judgment. Iblis is now appointed. Okay, so next the 16th ayat is Qala fa bima aghwaytani lakakudanna lahum siratakal mustaqim. He said, for leaving me to stray, I will lie in the ambush for them on your straight path. Iblis said that because he was left astray, he will be like ambush, he will be annoyance, he will be struggle on our straight path to Allah. Okay, so next the 17th one is Summa la'atiyannahum by min bayni aydihim wa min khalfihim wa an aymanihim wa an shama'ilihim wa la tajidu aksarahum shakirin. I will approach them from their front, their back, their right, and their left, and then you will find most of them ungrateful. He just said he's gonna come from the back, the front, everywhere. He's gonna come diagonally. He's gonna come in all directions. Iblis himself just said that. Okay, so the last ayat is going to be the 18th ayat. It's going to be A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. قال اخرج منها مذءوما مدحورا لمن تبعك منهم لأملأن جهنم منكم أجمعين. Allah said, get out of paradise, you are disgraced and rejected. I will certainly fill up hell with you and your followers all together. Now I kind of wish I used this in the Allah's humiliation one, but let's not do hindsight right now, because hindsight is absolutely useless until we invent time travel, which PS, it's never going to happen. We're not gonna achieve time travel. We don't need to either. So like hindsight, I kind of wished I used this in Allah's humiliation one though, because like the threat is like, I will certainly, Allah certain, He's certified that he's going to fill up Jahannam, he's going to fill up hell with Iblis and his followers all together. Like I really wish I did that. Get out of paradise, you are disgraced, you are rejected. I will certainly fill up hell with you and your followers all together. I really wish I used this in the other one. Wow. That was like 7 ayats, I'm pretty sure. But like I said, I hope you finished your popcorn by now, because wow, that was some drama right there. Now let's move on to Surah Al-Kahf, which is only one ayat, but it's a long ayat and it's similar to this. And we also get like some info or like some of Allah's words in this too, along with the backstory. Okay, now for Surah Al-Kahf, which is the 18th surah of the Quran, we're gonna do the 50th ayat. It is A'udhu billahi rajim, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa iz qulna lil malaikati isjudu li adama fasajadu illa iblisa kana minnal jinni fasaka an ammi rabbi aftata khiluna huwa zuriya tahu awli ya amin duni wahum lakum adu bi'sa lizali mina badala. And remember, when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam, so they all did, but not Iblis, who was one of the jinn. But he rebelled against the command of his Lord, of Allah. Would you then take him and his descendants as your patrons instead of me, although they are your enemy? What an evil alternative for the wrongdoers to choose. So we got a lot in this. First of all, it got confirmed that Iblis is a jinn. He was not an angel, he was a jinn, and he rebelled against Allah's command, which we all know. And then Allah is asking us once again in a snarky remark, would you take him and his descendants as patrons again instead of me, although they are the enemy? What an evil alternative for the wrongdoers to choose. It's like, you really choose the enemy over me? Really? Like really? So this is basically the point in this surah, and I honestly appreciate it's the backstory, and then it also has another like snarky alternative. Though I wouldn't like completely consider it a humiliation. Who am I kidding? Of course it's humiliation. Because like what an evil alternative for the wrongdoers to choose. I love that. It's a question mark, then it's an exclamation. Okay, now moving on to the next and last part of our 5 sections, and these last two are defense. Because of course now we learned about the enemy, we learned about like his personality traits, his backstory. Now we need to finally set up defense. Because remember, you can't do like offensive with Iblis. You can only do defensive with Iblis, which you should do defense mainly. So this is going to include Surah Al-Fatiha and Surah Al-Asr. So let's move on to the defense section. Okay, so in the defense section, first of all, we are going to be talking about Surah Al-Fatiha. Now Surah Al-Fatiha, it contains in the 4th ayat, it's about avoiding Iblis. And like I've said in the defense section, you should always take a defensive, what the best way to take the defensive is to avoid your enemy. And the best way to avoid your enemy is be with Allah, because Allah will help you avoid your enemy. In this case, our enemy is Iblis. So this is in the fourth ayat of Surah Al-Fatiha, or 5th ayat if you count Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim as a part of Surah Al-Fatiha. So it's Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, specifically in Iyyaka nasta'in. And upon you we call for help is basically that we only ask you for help, Allah. For context, well, everyone knows the context of Surah Al-Fatiha. We're making a deal with Allah. We're saying that we will only worship you, and you will help us. And we will only ask you for help. So like only asking Allah for help is the best way to avoid Iblis. Because like in some cases, in a lot of cases, it doesn't matter how strong of it, but like help system you have, like whatever it is, it can corrupt, but Allah's system of help never corrupts. It can't corrupt. It's literally directly ejected. It's like directly your soul. So like it can't. That's like one of the best ways to avoid Iblis. Now in the second one, in Surah Al-Asr, we'll move on to that. This is the real deal in Surah Al-Asr. Now in Surah Al-Asr, it teaches the last one of our 5 parts, and the last one of defensive. It's the most important one. It teaches us 4 things for us to earn Allah's approval, but we're going to focus on 2 things in this. It's in the 3rd ayat and the last ayat. By the way, Surah Al-Asr is the 103rd surah of the Quran. It's Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Illal lazina amanu wa amilus salihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. Except those who have faith, do good, and urge each other to the truth, and urge each other to perseverance, aka sabr, aka patience. So in this, we're gonna focus on the last 2, which everyone knows. To have faith and do good, everyone knows that you should have iman and you have to do good deeds to earn Allah's approval. These last 2 are the real ones, which give us a lot of which give us the knowledge. Urge each other to the truth, aka urge each other to like justice, to the truth, and urge each other to perseverance, urge each other to sabr, to patience. These are the 2 things that will keep you content. Sabr, haq, these are the 2 things. Remember in the title, it's Allah's tools for personality development and defense against Iblis. Long title, I know. This is for personality development. This not only defense, personality development as well. Everyone likes a person that urges people to the truth and urges justice. That's just a likable person, and someone that has patience alongside that is just amazing. It goes really deep into this. Like, justice can give you confidence when you're urging others to trust justice. Patience is just like the most precious, expensive thing. This is just the best thing in the world. Patience, one of the best things ever. Having patience means you basically won life. Like, it can save you time by like you're not doing any useless arguments. It can save you energy. It can save you it's good for all the people. It's good for all around. Like, it's just good all around. These are the two things that, especially, of course, we need to have faith and do good, but everyone knows that these are the two things which will keep us content and safe until the end. Which, speaking of the end, we have reached the end of the video. Except, have we now? In fact, we have one more special thing, which is probably one of the most important things in this, other than the sabr and justice. So let's move on to that. It's actually a hadith. So finally, I get to say that this is not from the Quran. This is a hadith. Finally. Okay, let's get into the hadith now. Okay, first I'm gonna be telling you the story of the hadith, and then I'm going to be explaining the hadith. I'll probably explain the hadith along the way as well. While on the ark, Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. Oh yeah, by the way, this hadith is with Nuh alayhi salam and Iblis. There's a conversation between them, I guess. Exchange. So it's while on the ark, Prophet Nuh alayhi salam noticed an old man whom he did not recognize. Nuh alayhi salam inquired. He asked, "What brought you here?" The old man replied, "I came to strike the hearts of your followers so their hearts become with me while their bodies with you." Nuh alayhi salam responded, "Leave, O enemy of Allah." So this old man is actually Iblis. Okay. Iblis said, there are 5 things that cause a person or people to become destroyed, to become devastated, deviated, to become bad, to become evil. I will inform you of 3 and not of the other 2. But then Nuh alayhi salam suddenly, he got a message from Allah telling him that he did not need to know the 3, but he actually need to know the 2, because I'm pretty sure the 3 are obviously probably important, but they're not, like, they're probably general things and they're probably in the Quran, but these two things he needs to know. So Iblis said, the 2 that are certain to work, the 2 things that are certain to work are, first of all, envy, aka jealousy. I, Iblis, was cursed because of my envy, because of my jealousy against Adam alayhi salam, like we've mentioned in the backstory, and became a stone devil. And the second is eagerness to have more. It's like humans have like this craving of wanting more. They always want to have more knowledge, have more. They just want to have more. The only thing that they do not want to have more is sadness. Okay. The entire paradise was made permissible to Adam alayhi salam. I got what I wanted from him because of his eagerness. I, Iblis, got what I wanted from Adam alayhi salam because of Adam alayhi salam's eagerness to have more. These are the 2 things which destroy a person. Of course, there's other 3, but these are the 2 main things that always work. First of all, envy, aka jealousy, which is one of the 7 deadly sins. Everyone knows envy, being jealous, is bad. You should be grateful all the time for what Allah has given you. There are people in a lot worse condition, and we should always be grateful for what Allah has given us. And eagerness to have more. Second. Now, Allah is not saying that you shouldn't ask Allah for more or not want any more. But eagerness is to really have more. You're constantly thinking about it. You should not constantly think about wanting more or having more. You should have trust in Allah that Allah will give it to you at the correct timing. It's like He's dressing it up. Allah's cooking it up for you, because He knew if He gave it to you right now, it would be raw. You would mess it up. It would be horrible. This is the wrong time for you to have it. It's like you get your child a pet when they're 5. It's completely the wrong time, there is a specific set of time. He's like, Allah is garnishing it for you. He's decorating it, making it look all nice, and He'll give it to you on a silver platter when it is correct timing. You can't have everything at once. He's not gonna give it all to you at one time. It will always be on a specific time, at the perfect time. Everything is put in the perfect place. Anyone outside the house right now that's walking, anyone that's walking outside, anyone that's breathing, that was set meticulously by Allah. Allah put that there for a reason, probably. Allah set everything here. He's like, he's playing with dolls. He's controlling all of it. It's gonna come eventually. Whatever you want, Allah is going to give it to you eventually. Not right now. If there's a correct time, it may be right now, maybe later. It will happen at the correct timing. It will all happen for a reason. You know why they say everything happens for a reason. And that finally concludes this video. Let's move on to the outro. To summarize, we learned about Iblis' origin story and why he was condemned. We learned about his backstory. We learned about his villain arc, which he caused. Unlike most villain arcs, where something bad happens to the villain, they have a reason for redemption. Iblis caused it because of, guess what? His jealousy, his envy. Something that ruins and destroys a person, people, anything. How he threatened humanity, he threatened mankind, he is the enemy of mankind, everyone knows that, but it's good to be reminded. And how we can defend ourselves, we can fend for ourselves. Well, we can't fend for ourselves, we need Allah by our side, but how we can try our best to fight back or to defend ourselves from Iblis' whisperers and evil whispers, especially with justice and sabr, patience. And by only asking Allah for help, because He is your most reliable source of help. Like, He is the most trusted site ever. So, before we really end this video, I want to tell you one thing, that beating Iblis is not that hard. It's not that hard. Beating Iblis is not that hard. Surely you should never underestimate Iblis. Like I've said, never underestimate Iblis. Never. Doesn't matter how powerful you are. Never. There's a reason why in the Quran said you should run for the hills when Dajjal comes. We are not a match for Dajjal. Like 1v8 billion, we're still losing. Okay, Dajjal, only Isa alayhi salam can beat Dajjal. We are just told to run and have faith in Allah. Okay, we can't fight him. We can't fight Dajjal. How are we going to fight Iblis? We can't do that. We can't do it. Never underestimate Iblis. But beating Iblis personally, like, of course you can't completely beat Iblis. Iblis is eager, like that man, that jinn will keep coming. But we can try our best to defend ourselves with the help of Allah. But doesn't mean you should fear or overestimate. There's a reason. You should estimate him. Like, don't be like afraid of him, but be cautious of him. There's a reason. There's a difference between being afraid or being cautious. Like, being afraid is like you're usually like, oh, you're scared of something. That's literally what afraid means. And then there's being cautious. You're not afraid, but you're on alarm. Like, you're prepared. You're not scared, you're prepared. Okay? Like, you shouldn't overestimate or fear Iblis either. To fight Iblis, there's just one thing you need. Allah. Who is very easy to win over. Like, come on. Allah is so easy to win over. Like, one thing you do. You point someone to a masjid even though you don't pray yourself. Next thing you know it, you have like 5 houses, 10 houses made of gold built for you in Jannah. Like, who are just waiting. They're just waiting right there. Allah is so easy to win over. Because He made us. He loves us so much. He loves us to an unimaginable amount. Like, you make your bed in the morning. You just he'll be happy with that. You just at least try to wake up for Fajr, even if you don't end up waking up for Fajr, or you miss Fajr while you're doing wuzu or something, because it's so cold. Allah will be happy for it. All that depends is Allah's easy to win over. All that depends is effort, which doesn't take that much. Once Allah is happy with you, nothing can beat you. Once Allah has decided something's happening to you, it's done. It's happening. Nobody can stop it. And let's just hope that's a good thing that's happening. Allah is very easy to win over. Iblis is very easy to beat. And remember, never overestimate Iblis, but never underestimate him either. And remember that Allah loves you. Allah loves you. He loves you so much. He loves you way too much. That's uncomprehendable. And remember, Iblis can do you no harm if you are on high alarm. But before we actually end the video, this is a random suggestion. It just came out of nowhere. Maybe Allah is sending me messages too. Maybe you can subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, Shuraim Sipar, right here. It's right here. Probably in this section or here, somewhere, wherever editing Sipar thinks it fits. Or maybe hit the bell icon afterwards. You need to subscribe to hit the bell icon though, where I upload very rarely, but try to upload. I try my best. And maybe like this video. Maybe follow my Facebook page, which you're probably watching this on. And just maybe comment down below something positive. But comment down below. And remember, Allah loves you so much. And I'll see you in the next video or next reel. And until then, I hope you stay safe. And remember that Allah loves you once again. And trust in Allah. And I will see you on the next video. Allah Hafiz or goodbye.